Every American in America liked Christmas a lot, but the Fauci who lived in D.C. did not. The Fauci hated Christmas. He called it a super spreader. He warned the people would be dead, kaput, or perhaps even deader. He set about his nationwide task that every American must wear a mask, but his ambition grew from there to the point that most could no longer bear. It could be that he was just a useless bureaucrat, or worse. Perhaps the thought of freedom made him vomit, spit, and curse. But most people said he was just a plain old lefty. It's possible because his brain was quite empty. Staring down from the Capitol with a sour Fauci frown, the people of America began decorating their town. "They're hanging their stockings," he snarled with a sneer. "Next month is Christmas, it's practically here." Then he growled with his Fauci fingers nervously drumming, "I must find a way to keep this super spreader from coming. They'll stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'll stand hand in hand and they'll all start singing. And they'll sing and they'll sing. Microbes will spread. And this, more than anything, the Fauci did dread. He thought of a plan, even looked at Wikipedia. He knew what he'd do. He'd call his friends in the media. "Come, Tapper, Amanpour, Maddow, and Cooper. We must end Christmas, be the national party pooper." They'd warn all the people about a second wave and tell them they just must behave. He'd tell them he admired their independent spirit, but then he'd turn around and scorningly smear it. He'd limit their parties to 10, and they would have Christmas never again. The Fauci then knew his plan would work like a dream. He'd promised it was, just until they procured a vaccine. But then he'd extend and prolong just for fun. Perhaps he'd even go until Christmas 2021. But a funny thing happened that bright Christmas morn. Christmas still happened, despite the virus being airborne. The people, they still praised Christ. They went to services and mass, and some of them shockingly didn't even wear masks. I said no Christmas was coming, no singing, no praise. He had heavily counted on apathy, malaise. Finally, he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. This sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded glad. Every Christian in Christendom was singing to Christ born. And something funny happened to the Fauci on that bright Christmas morn. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. It came without masks. It came without social distance. It seemed to him a terrible resistance. He puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Fauci thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, like rights, don't come from bureaucrat decree. Maybe, after all, these Americans are free. And what happened then? Well, in America, they say that the Fauci's credibility shrunk 3 sizes that day. Christmas Day is in our grasp, so long as we are free to grasp. Christmas Day will always be just as long as we have we. Welcome Christmas while we stand, heart to heart and hand in hand.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. Matthew Archbold is the author of American Antigone, available on Amazon now.